Feasting the Macabre is the second full-length album from Milan, Italy-based death metal band Morbus Grave, and they return with another album that is very similar to the last in most ways. I think the biggest change here is it all centers around pace. They've slowed down a little bit on some songs, they've sped up on others. They've kind of worked in a more intense dynamic into their sound so that we're never really treading dead air, and it's a pretty short record, so they kind of just keep it burning through all the way. This is very much a late 80s, maybe a little bit early 90s style death metal band. They are very much rooted in the initiators, who I consider Slayer and Celtic Frost for the most part, for this extreme style of step from thrash metal into death metal. So if you're a fan of Necrophagia, Deceased, and Master, you'll understand what this band is doing right away. They speak a specific language in terms of rhythm, and this does feel like very much like a retro death metal record, even though it doesn't lean into it in a cheesy way that you might get from like a Swedish death metal band or something like that. So we'll cut to a clip here and then get into the details here, of which there's not a lot more to say about it. So the thing about this record is they're just in it to hit you with a quick half hour of riffs. They're not really in it to overthink any of it. Some of it does kind of drag a little bit here and there, just in the very basic guitar shapes that it shows. But most songs remain a little bit tuneful. There are a few that crop up along the way that have that kind of Slaughter feeling, where it's punkish, it's fast, it's got a little bit of the D beat of Swedish death metal in there, and they've got that Severed Survival energy throughout most of it, but it doesn't necessarily always hit on every song, and there are a couple that just drag a little bit outside of I think the best part of this record is kind of the more doomed touched songs, the ones that slow down the most and kind of give you maybe a Celtic Frost riff or just something heavier like that. So not a complicated thing. This is not a record to overthink. It's a solid death metal record in an ancient style, and they do it pretty well. They've shown that they have their own distinct modus. They've got this cool style of album art that really fits them, and this is a band that seems to know who they are and what they want to do, and they're doing it better than last time on this record. And I think the progress is in their vision is clear enough as we cut into any one of these songs. So check it out if that's your kind of thing. For me, it was a solid record and a memorable one, but maybe not the absolute best of the month or the moment. So this released on July 22nd. You can listen to it now if you'd like, and otherwise go and check out my review for more details on the record and how I felt about it.